Welcome to Title Talk with your host, Drew Wishover, entrepreneur, a published author, and owner of Inspired Title Group, along with his co-host and CEO, Amy Maley. Each week, they offer you some laughs, industry terminology, tips and strategies, along with the occasional real estate professional to help educate you as it pertains to buying, selling, or just plain old homeownership. Thanks for spending time with them. Now, let's jump into today's episode of Title Talk. Oh, hi. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Sorry, you guys interrupted us. It's National Chocolate Cake Day. And my the wonderful ladies who are taking fabulous.
I mean, I feel like I'm just gonna eat this the entire time.
Chocolate cupcakes to start the show. We
Thank you, Doughboys.
Shout out to the Doughboys for giving us those guys.
Those guys. I'm so sorry.
Hey, those guys. Thank you guys for providing the chocolate for today as we start our.
Chocolate in the chocolate.
Yeah, today is really Chocolate Cake Day. It's real. Look at, I mean, you can see it on their faces, the smile, the happiness to chocolate. Oh, I will not turn down chocolate. The second thing I will not turn down is bacon. Bacon covered chocolate covered bacon. Oh man, Amy's doing a great job wearing it over here. So hey, wanted to say thank you and good morning and welcome to Title Talk. My name is Drew.
My name is Amy.
And you're probably wondering why there's another person sitting in here. Well, don't wonder anymore. This is Courtney, and we brought Courtney on today to, keeping in the realtor theme, as we have been this entire month, we wanted to invite Courtney on as she is a new homeowner. She bought her first home a couple months ago.
Yeah, back in October 5th, I think it was, we closed.
Okay. And
almost 4 months, huh?
So she's going to kind of chat with us a little bit about her experience and what she looks for in a realtor and the reasons that, you would need a realtor and some of the questions that she had asked and maybe things she didn't know, all kinds of different speak about the realtors and such. So without any further introductions and conversation, Courtney, tell us a little bit about your buying of the home experience. What, scary, exciting, nervous, all of it?
Yes.
Yes, good.
Yes.
Good. That's a good start.
No, it was a lot of fun. It was really stressful, and I think what took me back the most was just like how quickly everything happened. I didn't realize so much was going to happen so fast, and then it was like once we didn't know how long it was going to take because knowing that the market, like at the point we were coming in, we were now at like the end of it where it was like, yeah, most of like the good stuff already went and like happened during the summer, and now cut to us, like you get what you get, and those prices were super inflated at that point. So it was like, oh man, is this the right time? Is this what we really want? Are we going to get what we want at this time? Which thankfully we did after, we looked at least something around like 27 properties.
Holy cow.
27? Well, something like really silly like
think that. Think about this though, folks. Like what Courtney's saying is, if you remember 6 months ago, that was really the height of the market where there was very little inventory. So there were a lot of buyers out there, but the sellers were not as prevalent. And so when you speak about looking at all these homes, it wasn't as though I'm looking at all these homes because I don't really like them. A, there's not a lot of inventory. B, the inflated prices are going, I like this, but is it really worth this number? Yeah. And that obviously contributed to the amount of homes you saw.
Yeah, and especially because we knew that this was our first home that we were buying as a couple. So we were like, more than likely, this is not our forever home. Right. Yeah. So it was, all right, where do we want to start out? And honestly, would be worth the investment, plus anything else that we're going to be putting in it in the next couple of years that we're staying there. Right? So just trying to figure that out. And we got very, very lucky in finding the place that we did.
Yeah.
Because the price point was just like, everything else was, we were like, yes. Then we were able to scoot in just like a little bit lower too. So there was already kind of that built-in equity that we weren't sure that we were going to have. And then now we're finally at a place where we're like, ooh, projects. Like, where are we gonna start? And it's exciting because we're there, and knowing that because we were able to get our home for what we did, we have the flexibility to do what we want.
And talk about that too. Talk about, the initially when the process starts. You kind of get this in your head that, you know what, maybe now's the time to take on being a homeowner. And it's one of life's greatest gifts is to own a home. So where did you start? Did you call up friends to say, hey, who did you use? Like, what was that process? How did that all?
So, because obviously I've been within this world with you guys, like from working here and then just like being within the family anyways, I feel like I had more of, like, for lack of a better word, a roster for like who I could kind of pick from like who I knew you guys had already worked with. Plus, a lot of people that I'd like gone to school with growing up, they ended up being realtors too.
Right.
And my biggest thing in my head was, what am I willing to mix versus what am I not willing to mix?
Mm-hmm.
So thinking of like personal life and like work and a home and all these things, like I wanted to make sure that I kept people in their lanes. So kind of in a sense of, there were a couple people that I wanted to work with, but I was like, if this doesn't go well, I don't want this to get in the way of our relationship, honestly. And
That's
that
huge,
was a huge deterrent for me, because I was like, I value that relationship, and I know how stressful this process can be.
Sure.
And I did not want to add that to anything.
Yeah.
So then actually I ended up going with Roxanne. Is it
Rusi?
Rusi. Okay.
Yeah.
I was about to pronounce her like the
which
fire.
we've had Roxanne on the show before, so obviously you were able to have met her and build a rapport with her because she's been in the office as you've been in the office.
Yeah, so it was nice because I knew her from really only a professional standpoint, and then throughout our process, and now after it, now we've been able to build that personal relationship, and there was no risk there at all.
Yeah, for sure.
That experience was incredible. Like, to be honest, I didn't know what to expect as far as like, what would I be thinking? Like, how many properties are you supposed to be sending me? What is your role versus my role, and things like that. And she really took the whole process by the reins and said, follow me, like, we're going, while asking us so many questions along the way, and making sure that in her taking that initiative, she was still driving us exactly where we were wanting to be.
Because 28 properties, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Like,
Yeah, that is a lot.
Every day she was sending us like, I think the least amount we got in a day from her were 5.
That's
and
insane.
the most we got were like within the 20s.
So, like,
That's crazy.
listening to what you're saying, building that relationship and that rapport is very important.
Mm-hmm.
But then comes that next tier, which is not necessarily less than, but that next thought is the credibility. Like, I mean, you came in blind, you know nothing about the process, and she goes ahead and educates you to a level where now you feel a little bit more confident and comfortable kind of when you're doing these walkthroughs.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think in the beginning, right when we decided that we were going to work together, before she even sent us the contract for us to sign to work with her, she sat on the phone with us for anywhere from 15 to 25 minutes, talking us through exactly her process, how she approaches it,
great.
and like anything she wanted us to know right off the bat, and then allowed us to ask anything we needed to know right off the bat, of like, are we a good fit in working together? And I mean, within the first couple minutes of that conversation, we're like, it's you.
No, she's great personality and very driven and really customer oriented, because
she's so sweet.
She is, and like
She's
just
really
giving her a little bit of a background as I did, to saying, Courtney's new at this is her first home. She really kind of put the kid gloves on and went, okay, because you can talk to people who are investors who are very experienced in this, so you talk to them differently than you would a brand new first-time homebuyer.
Oh yeah.
So Courtney, being a first-time homebuyer, takes a different level of understanding, and I think that that's also very important when you're looking through the realtors that you're interviewing to become yours, is can they adjust and adapt to where you're at in your home buying process.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. She met us exactly where we were, and as we were asking questions and things like that, at no point was there an attitude or a tone of like,
Oh my gosh,
you don't
yeah.
know this, or oh my
Right.
God. Or in a way where when she was telling us what was going on, not like, oh, just trust me and let's go with it kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, it was very much, you will completely understand what we are doing, why we are doing it, and why this is
Nice.
your decision you are making, not mine.
And that's what I was gonna say. That's a huge thing. It's your choice. Like if you are having these conversations with realtors and it doesn't feel right, it's probably not gonna be a good experience for you. And you have every right to try out a couple realtors, because before Joe and I bought my father-in-law's house, we met with a realtor, and she was just awful. Like she
Really?
was like she was upset that we didn't want to pick one of the first 3 houses she showed us, and I was like, this is just not vibing. Like 3 houses. I've lived at home for 31 years. So like
Yep.
that's a big thing for me. Like I'm not just gonna look at 3 houses and pick one of those that's gonna be. But so you get to pick. Do not let anybody make you feel guilty for not, picking a house that you love or anything like that.
Courtney, through that process too, how available was she? Like, did you have to? Was it something that you had to kind of, call? Hope she got back to you. Like, how was her, timing of this stuff?
Oh, she was so quick. She was so quick. I mean, and even so, if I asked a question, whether it was like it was going to be a quick just text me back thing, or like, hey, I need to jump on a call with you because I have a couple of questions, or I just want to be able to talk out this whole thought that I have. If she wasn't able to respond to the question itself in that exact moment, she was very quick to let me know when she could.
Sure.
So there was always a plan, and I never, and I think Billy would attest to this too, we never felt like abandoned, I guess, in our
Good word,
process.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was literally, I am here, and if it's not now, this is the time that I will make myself available
Sure.
to you later. And like once we hopped on that phone call, she was never rushing me through that or anything. It was like always making sure. Any more questions? Anything else? And then she'd end every one of those conversations by saying, don't hesitate to even text me later if like you're trying to think back to this, or if you need a call tomorrow about something.
Right.
By all means, this
Right.
line of communication is always open. Even when she went on vacation, she had somebody else who was going to be set up to show us houses if we wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, if you at any point though still need to contact me, I am on vacation and you are still my priority. Yeah. So obviously we did not take advantage of that
Sure.
just because we were like, no, we respect you and you do so much and all the other time that
Sure.
this time is yours. But I mean she was incredible.
So, in just kind of wrapping this up here, what would be your advice that you would give to that first-time home buyer, and maybe even just in general to the real estate process, as far as kind of interviewing the realtors? What kind of advice would you give?
So, as I'm thinking about it, I am like realizing this might sound counterintuitive. However, it will make sense. So, the first thing is be very patient, because depending on where the market is, you don't know. Like
Sure.
you have to ride that wave. You are not in any control of that.
Mhm.
So, be patient with the process. Be patient with yourself. Don't settle,
Mhm.
because then you will be unhappy. Like
Right.
you can find something to make it into your own 100%, but if you walk into a space and you can't already start imagining what you would be doing to make it your own, don't settle for it and just
Right.
hope you'll be able to adapt it. Have ideas kind of thing. So don't settle for that. But also don't be so picky in the sense of like,
It's not perfect.
yeah, if it's not perfect and doesn't hit every single one of your boxes on your tickler list, take a moment to think. Is this something that we can have in
Yeah.
time? Is this something that we're willing to put forth the money or time in later and things like that? Is it so important that I have it now, or can I wait?
That's awesome.
Because otherwise you'll miss out on a lot of really, really great opportunities if you're just waiting for the one house that's gonna have it all.
Did you know like condo versus townhouse versus house versus, or were you kind of open to looking at everything?
So we said it was either a townhouse or a house.
Okay.
And then, one thing was we realized that so many more townhouses were available. The houses that were within our price range, just
No,
you just
yeah.
don't want to. But also what came down to was a very, very blunt conversation of, I will not be doing outside work. If you would like to do outside work, then by all means, I'm all in on the house. But if you don't want to bring out the lawnmower, I totally respect that.
Yeah, so
I
that's a
totally
different
respect that.
conversation for
Let's
another
pause.
day, really, yeah. You start getting into that's
No,
that's a
yeah.
relational
Yes.
piece.
Yeah.
I think we talk about that in June.
Yeah.
I think we get, so stick around for our
Watching
relational
Joe
segment.
put his slippers on to shovel for the first time ever, I was like, oh no, bro. Like, you but the reality of homeownership versus, that kind
Yeah,
of
because
stuff.
then we still, it just being in a townhouse gives us a nice, like, step into
No,
all of
sure.
that's
that, where
great.
it's like figuring out what it entails in just the inside portion of it,
Yeah.
and then knowing, all right, well, when are we ready to add this responsibility as
that's-
well? So
That's good, and,
being
and
realistic to who you are as your own person.
Yeah.
this has been great. Like, hearing it from an individual who has recently done it, hearing the things to look for in a realtor as the process starts. Maybe through learning through the processes of interviewing and conversation, questions to ask. I think you've touched on a lot of those points, and
Yeah.
that's awesome, and thank you for doing that. I don't want to lessen the importance of why you're here and other things that you do. So I want to give you an opportunity to kind of talk a little bit about your profession, because that'll move us right into our next segment a little bit. And it's obviously something I'm very proud of, being your dad, but. Definitely give yourself a quick plug, and we'll move into our next segment, which you've thankfully, accepted to stay here for. But I think it's your wheelhouse. So,
Yes.
so tell
Well,
us.
I think it's kind of cool because this is my third time on Title Talk as like intentionally a guest. When
Yeah.
I did the Thanksgiving give back, that was different. But this is otherwise my third time, and I think each time I've been here, I've been at kind of a different place
Yeah.
with my career. Like
Yeah,
where I'm
no,
at.
for sure.
Sure.
So now I am very much like full time as within the private practice as a professional counselor. I am still working with a wide range population, so anywhere from 8 years old to right now I think my oldest client is within their like 40s. But just kind of having that range, and now I'm in a place where I'm going to be doing many more new learning opportunities and expanding that knowledge, especially within like the trauma realm and eating disorders, and then I'm going to work more on play therapy. That's the first two are my this year goal. So
That's awesome.
it's
That's
to get
really
all the
cool.
training and stuff in that, because it's another way that will just make me grow and be able to serve my clients in a much better way. So
So
super
appreciate
excited.
that, and so very proud of you to be doing this. And why don't we lead this next segment with you, if you don't mind? We like to do every week our positive vibes and motivational minutes, and we are absolutely blessed to have Courtney here, who is a professional counselor, to kind of share a little bit more about what's going on in our world, and talking and speaking to things where people are really struggling. Obviously with the pandemic and the masks and all of the emotions that people have over those things, it's tough. It's a tough place. There's a lot of depression going on. There's a lot of people who are feeling a certain way, and obviously you see it first in your career. So why don't you give us something? Tell us a story. Give us whatever you want to give. You're kicking off our positive vibe segment, kid.
Yeah, so I had two thoughts that I wanted to speak to. So one being, because this pandemic has continued, and I think a lot of us were very hopeful in the beginning of the pandemic of like, okay, well after a year this will just be done, right?
Mhm.
Well, and now we're on year 2 going into
Right.
into year 3, and it's starting to feel like there's no light at the end of the tunnel,
Sure.
right? So it's like, oh my gosh, there's no more doom and gloom. When is it going to be done? And because of that, I think a lot of people have felt that a lot of things are put on hold
Mhm.
for them, whether they're put on hold or that it just truly is no longer in the cards for
Mhm.
them. So one of my biggest sayings, and I say this at work, I say this in my personal life, is not never, just not now.
Mhm.
And just adjusting that expectation of like, as much as I want this, if it is so important to me that I have this in my lifetime, then if it can't happen now, that's okay. it's just at some other point, but I'm not telling myself that it's never going to happen.
Right.
Especially if that's going to rip so much joy or motivation for me to continue pushing forward otherwise through the other things that happen.
Mhm.
So not never, just not now is one thing. The other thing, I use this all the time too, and I think you guys have heard me say it, and people call me out on it because I enunciate it so hard when I
yes, know what
speak,
you're saying.
is not using but, replace but with and.
Yeah.
And literally as I speak, I'll be like, instead of and, and then it's like I'm making a point, because a lot of the time what happens is when we say something, the moment we put but in, whether we mean to or not, it will nullify that whole first part of your sentence.
It does, I agree.
So there was a quote that I pulled, because I really like this quote. My issue is that it says but over and over again. Okay, so it's, I struggle, but I grow. Okay, well, I struggle and I grow.
Mhm.
Because both of those things can
It
coexist.
ties it, right. Mhm.
I fall and I get up. Even amid adversity, I succeed and I prosper.
Right.
Right? So it's like all of those things can happen at once, and it doesn't, neither one of those crosses the other one out, because I want to honor the struggle. I also want to take pride in the growth that I get from that as well, rather than saying like, well, I grew, so it's almost like I never No, I very much did.
Yeah.
That was
I
why I
climbed my
needed
way.
to grow.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I am
yeah.
honoring and validating both sides of those things.
And that's, again, that's really great advice, and we don't know what you guys are going through, and you just gotta believe and know you're not alone. And I think Courtney's words there are they speak volumes to what, it's just reframing and changing your mindset on things to really get you to buy in. Your mind buys into all the negativity, well, why not really speak to the positivity and just reframe your speak?
Yeah.
And that's really all this is. And yes, oh gosh, it's so easy for me to sit here and say that.
Yeah.
But I get it. And obviously you see it day in and day out, people coming in and spending hours with you and months to kind of resolve and work through a problem. It's not something that happens overnight. It takes a period of time. It's
retraining your thinking,
really
and
is.
it takes longer than 2 minutes to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I tell
It is.
people all the time, I'm like, as I'm speaking to your struggles and ways that we can look at this differently or how we can cope with it, it comes out of my mouth so effortlessly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is not at all with me taking away how much effort it will take to really put that
Right.
into action,
Right.
or how much time it's going to take to really see that change. By just changing one word from but to and, I'm not expecting at all, and neither should anybody, of like, oh my gosh, well now my whole mindset's
Right.
No, I have to work on tricking my
Repetition.
brain into
Yep.
that, and
It's
the more I
repetition.
hear it, then the more I buy into that. But up until that point,
But
yes,
and
and up until that point, I'm needing to just be more mindful of
Sure.
that and tune into what am I saying, what am I really trying to get out there and think.
and you probably don't have any issues or anything going on in your life, because as a counselor,
Yeah.
professional counselors, like they're
Rainbows.
all perfect, right?
It's one of my favorite moments with a client when I tell them that their therapist is in therapy.
Right.
And sometimes they're like, oh, thank God, because me alone would put you into therapy. And other times people are like, should I be worried? I'm like, that is literally the first thing they taught me in school.
Yeah.
As a therapist, if you want to do well, get a therapist.
Yeah.
And it has been the biggest thing for me, because in the times that I didn't, it impacted
Oh,
me,
it's got to.
and I knew it. So you just have to be realistic. This is not a weakness. And I think I said this in probably my first time here, was coming to counseling is the biggest strength and act of courage that you can
I agree.
do. This is not a sign of weakness, because somebody who is strong enough to recognize that they need that help outside of themselves is so much better off than they may even realize.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that's good advice. I think that's good stuff to share with our audience, and again, we thank you for that, and again, being here to share your knowledge of both buying and selling a home, and then what you are really doing in the community for so many people. It's such a great thing, and it definitely touches my heart. And what do you have for your positive vibes today?
Mine's a little bit different. I am
Okay.
talking about 3 different types of motivation today.
Right.
I feel like right now in the dead of winter, people are just like everything, including myself. So I kind of thought this was interesting that we've always known about two types of motivation: intrinsic and extrinsic. That word always gets me. So what intrinsic is, it's the stuff that you get physically. Like, you know, you do something well at work, you get a paycheck. Like, an activity that is done in order to attain some separable outcome, if you want, you know, big people words. You exercise to lose weight, you learn to speak Italian to impress your friends, getting to work on time to avoid getting yelled at by your boss.
Nobody does that.
So that's the extrinsic part of that. And what is intrinsic? It's the internal drive for success or a sense of purpose. So doing something because it feels good. Like, I'm going to work out because it makes me feel better.
Right.
Not necessarily because I'm wanting to lose weight, but like, you know, I've been going to the gym and I haven't lost a half a pound, but you know, it's cool to jump.
Let's talk more about these chocolate cakes.
Hey, I only ate this much of it so far.
Chocolate cakes.
Amy, 3 months ago, would have demolished this entire thing while Courtney was
Yay.
talking. And then, you know, the other part of this is having a job that you actually feel benefits you. Like, you do something because you love doing it, not because you are just looking for this paycheck. But what has recently come out is a reason, like a different kind of motivation, is family. That I thought was a very, very cool thing. That, like, the example that I was reading about was, you know, you talk to a factory worker.
Right.
And they're like, I do the same thing every day. I pack up boxes. I don't do it because I feel thrilled to pack boxes, but I do it because I love my family and I want to support my family. So I just think it's a very, very cool thing that as long as motivation, intrinsically, extrinsically, has been around, now there is a new thing that people are being motivated by their family. I just thought it was a very,
That's
very
good.
cool kind of thing
Yeah.
to kind of look at.
I like that. That's, that's really good. And again, you take a lot of that stuff for granted. And you know, something that I never wanted to believe myself was, as I got older, the value of that and the importance of that increasingly became greater.
Yeah.
You know, obviously family's always been important, but as you start getting older, you start watching your family kind of grow and expand and take on adulthood and
And
these
you
different
watch yours a
challenges and
lot.
things.
Like,
And
you got two of these faces in here all the time.
I mean,
and Courtney's still,
absolutely.
like, it's just a
you know,
crazy
I'm,
thing.
I'm very connected to that, but it's really crazy to watch all that happen. So family, you know, it's, you know, and tomorrow's not a guarantee. So I will bring you the motivational minute to tell you, mine's all about excuses. I said it this morning.
I was like, wait,
Something
is
that
this
is
why you brought
really
this up?
driving me is I hear when people speak excuses a lot louder than I hear anything else that comes up, because it troubles me only because it's just like what you said a little bit ago. We were just talking about. It's retraining your speak. It's reframing how you say something. So here we go. Ready for this? This is a little motivation, and it's got some thrill in it. Ooh.
Pick up your cupcakes.
Yeah, everybody grab your cupcake, grab your cup of coffee, because Drew's on. Here we go. So what's stopping you? Too tired? You didn't get enough sleep? You don't have enough time? Is that what's stopping you right now? You don't have enough money? Is that the thing? Or is the thing that's stopping you, you? Excuses sound best to the person who's making them up. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Get out of the pity party. Telling everyone you're sad and their sob stories, trying to get people to show up to your pity party. Stop. If you ever see me going on a vacation or driving a nice car, don't get jealous of me, because I worked my tail off to get that. It's time for you to wake up and awaken that beast inside of you. Take time for you. Take advantage of all the resources that we have. You got a problem with your life? You got a problem with your environment? Do something about it. If you want it, go get it. Recognize the excuses are not valid. They're fabricated. They're lies. So how do you stop the lies? You stop the lies with the truth. You have time. You have the resources. You have the knowledge, the support, the discipline to get it done. The first of everything good in life begins with a challenge. Everything is uphill that's worthwhile. And it's not going to come to you, and it's not going to fall in your lap, and it's not going to be something that, oh, that was so simple. It's always going to be difficult. Every single time. So if you want it, you got to go get it. This is your chance, folks. This is your shot. This is your moment. Tomorrow. Guess what? There's no such thing as tomorrow. We only have today. If it's your dream, if you're going to have it, then you got to go get up and make it happen. If you really want it, you got to get up and rise and grind. There are no excuses. You still have to work to stay in that tough situation. But it's grind season, folks. It's time to get up. It's time to stop with the pity parties. It's time to stop with the excuses. If you really want something, if it means something, go get it. Stop talking about it. Stop promising it. Who are you kidding? It's not us as the listener. We don't care. You're only kidding yourself. There is my motivational minute. Was it as
Mic
thrilling?
drop.
Was it as thrilling as I built it to be? The cops are here. It's
I
so
needed
hot.
to use it.
Look at that.
I needed to use
Buttons.
it.
The buttons are there to use. So we really thank you, Courtney, for taking some time out of your busy day today to come in and join us and be a part of Title Talk and supporting Inspired Business in all the things that we're doing, and always appreciate you participating in the events that we're doing as a team, and still kind of making yourself part of the team even when you've got other things that are going on. So we're thankful and appreciative of that. So
Oh, I know I've said it. You guys built a family here, and outside of 3 of you already being my actual family, the rest of you guys very much are. So just because I don't work here, that doesn't mean that I don't want to be involved or spend the time and do the things. I very much support you guys, and if showing up and doing this or going to give back is a way I can support you,
Right.
then I will always be.
awesome.
Thank
awesome.
you guys.
Well, thank you for taking the time. Ladies
I'm
and
gonna
gentlemen,
steal
this is
I'm gonna steal
Courtney
this.
Wishover, who is now leaving with the chocolate cake. We're going to give you guys a little bit more behind the scenes of us and about us, and take a couple minutes to look at this real quick. Stand by.
Oh my god!
Wow.
There's.
Coming back hot.
I don't know what's scarier because this filter she put on
Yeah.
me looks like Ryan looks right now. this face right here is
Wow.
just.
Well,
Wow.
we just ended a really good.
Sorry,
Got
Ryan.
bald.
Thank you for. Wow. We came in hot.
That's a Ryan right there.
So we wanted to just take a little bit more time and keep talking about the real estate and realtors, and kind of talk a little bit more about our development, and a little bit more about some good things that we've done and things that are happening within our development place. If you see on the fabulous backdrop behind us, the before and after of our Maywood house that we finally just got under contract, the guy in the center was a big player of making that kind of happen. Looking nothing like that guy in the center is now the guy who's sitting on the couch. Also, a family member. His name is Ryan
I'm
Wishover.
surrounded by wishovers.
You are.
There's
You are.
wishovers everywhere.
He is the project manager of the Inspired Development team, which is kind of out there right now doing a lot of different projects. And we just landed a 13-unit building in the city that we're going to be starting on, which is going to be
Not scary at all.
It is. So think about that. A year I mean, how long has it been since we've
This-
really kind of?
Dude,
I've probably been to that property all of 10 times.
I was gonna say 10 or
Yeah.
15 was like my number that I was thinking about.
in and out. No, I mean I almost know that place like the back of my. I feel like I almost live there now.
Yeah.
And this
I
is
might buy it. I
this
don't
is without us even touching the project yet.
Right.
Like this
Right.
was 10 times of Ryan going there to either meet new people, to get plans approved, to
Yep.
this is the behind the scenes that you don't really see of what development is. It's not
Yes.
just like, here's your property
know.
and
go.
go.
Do it, yeah.
No, it's like the reality of, you know, the financing behind it, the plans, like I said, getting the city of Chicago on board with everything we're doing. It's just,
It's a lot.
and Ryan has been, you know, hands on with most of it. So
I don't think you can stress enough.
majority. I was gonna say the majority, not most. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think you can stress enough in what you just said though, because you know the behind the scenes, the acquisition of that property took the better part of a year, the countless hours of meetings and visits and coordination and back and forth with contractors.
I was gonna say we went through a handful of contractors, and you know,
3.
yes, hearing one's ideas, and you know, having relationships that kind of fell through with that, just because we weren't kind of seeing the same thing, on that we weren't on the same page. So bringing a new set of contractors in
Right.
there to see what they
Yeah.
thought, and then bringing in the final set of contractors to you know,
It-
and hopefully that.
It's
this one
such a
sticks and
struggle.
Yeah.
And they've also got the city of Chicago too saying, hey, this is what's wrong with the place.
Right.
It's a whole violations list that
This-
it's reading. You
This
gotta just read
building,
everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Pages.
50
Mhm.
close to 50 pages of building code violations that we need to address in order to get this house, or I'm sorry, this complex.
Yeah, 13
Underway.
unit building,
Yeah.
50 pages plus of violations that all need to be addressed before we can even get the financing in place, meaning the scope of work that needs to be displayed and outlined has got to be addressing that. It's going to make sure that these building code violations are no longer an issue. I get it. I understand that that's exactly the purpose and reason behind the city of Chicago and actually any community putting something back onto
Keeping
you know,
houses
the-
safe,
Yeah,
keeping people safe,
it's
yeah.
the community, and so what you see behind us is a smaller version of literally what we did in the town of Maywood. That project took infinitely longer than what we expected based on
I don't want to listen to that.
timelines and our contractor issues that we had, and then
Yeah.
the village and city issues that we had. So things that you guys don't see on your HGTV is some of the things that we endured with this property.
I think we've endured more on this property than we have in the last 3 years worth of stuff. To be 100% honest with you.
I will stand alongside and agree with
I
that.
think this house was initially supposed to sell in December of 2020.
20.
No, it was supposed to be-
2021.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like a Christmas house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be a Christmas house. However, there was a timeline that was before.
Before
like
that.
it was in the summer
Yeah.
it
of
was.
21.
Yes.
Yep, it
The
was.
timeline kept getting pushed back. Well, we missed. We missed the great market. The market
We
that
did.
Courtney talked about earlier when she bought her home.
In the market we sold our last development project in,
I mean, which we did well. We
and we sold that house on the private listing network that we had talked
in
about.
one day.
I was gonna say we had multiple
One day,
offers
yeah.
in like 2 days.
Yeah.
And it
And-
was insanity. It was that
It's
market was so
just-
fire.
Yeah, it's just so different. The reality is this is just so different of a place that we are, and here again, everybody looks at, well, I can do this, and you probably can, but you're never going to get it timed right where you hit the market perfectly when you want to. You never can plan for the, oh my gosh, there's an infinite amount of things that can and will take place and go wrong. Amy, do you want to touch base on any of those? I mean, other than the contractor issue, which is unfortunately was a big one.
The contractor one was a big issue, and I think the most frustrating thing about this entire process was, I think we redesigned and reimagined that house 7 times.
Yeah.
Because like you know you find this house and you think about all these awesome ideas you have with it, and then by the time the contractor is ready to get there, it's 6 months.
Totally
It's
different.
months past, so it's like, what did we talk about 5 months ago? We had picked how many different colors, how many different sidings, how many different driveways and backyards and
Yeah.
all this stuff that like, I'm a planner. So like, when my plans change, it like my brain goes like skirt. I don't like it. So
But you're like the best note taker ever.
I-
So,
and
and
you know
that
it
helps.
came to bite me in the tushy because I was like, well, when I wrote on June 12th, we
Yeah.
were supposed to do this.
It's like, and
But-
it's not there. It's like, well,
Yeah. There's no accountability in the industry.
It's hard.
And
It's
that's
really,
what's
really hard. And do I think we turned out a great, beautiful project? I do. I am so super happy with how this house turned out. It is gorgeous. Cannot wait to actually meet the home buyer because, you know,
They
I think they're gonna get their dream home.
they loved it.
They
The
love this
praise, I mean, so a lot of people will frown upon the fact that this took, you know, about a month to sell when we
It happened
listed
for a reason.
Right.
I like the way my brain kind of fights through this stuff is that every delay happened because this person wasn't ready to buy their dream home yet. So like whenever I get discouraged, whenever I get upset, that's kind of my mentality that like I have to know that this person that is buying this house is supposed to be in this house.
And I
Sorry, I
think
didn't mean to
no,
interrupt you.
that's totally okay, and I think you have to be.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I come from that time when timelines and people would be accountable for what they did, and it was just a different era and a different work ethic. I mean, a lot of these contractors, they'll start now at 10 o'clock in the morning and they'll work till 3, and then you'll see them the next day. We were there at 6:30 and we worked till 5 or 5:30, and then we worked part of a day on a Saturday. It's just a very, very different place. Ryan, what do you got? What are some things that you experienced through this process, or some of maybe the obstacles and struggles?
no, I mean there's going to be headaches. I mean, you know, and I guess sometimes when we say like in this industry, you know, maybe that can be an excuse, but at the same time, it's true. I mean,
Right.
it is
We've
this
seen it.
industry. It's not the easiest. It's not for everybody, but at the same time, you know, I've learned that you know what, we had the one contractor and we got another contractor.
Right.
Now we're with this guy, and you know what, to me that's a positive thing because you know what, maybe we found a better contractor out of this.
Right.
Maybe you know, maybe we just find out you know different properties and everything and have him do his thing. But on this property specifically, though, I mean, the transformation of all this was absolutely amazing. I mean, you know, we switched up different rooms. You know, we switched up the face of the house pretty much.
Right.
I mean,
You see the before and after up there.
Yeah.
I mean, that house, that was a porch that you
Yeah.
walked into,
yeah,
and now it's
the
part of the
front
house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now it's your front door.
You know, now it's
So
your front door.
it's no, it was a fun project. I learned a lot as you know, as long as it took. I did learn a lot out of this though
Yeah.
at the same time because it's it should be done in a timely manner. Obviously this didn't get done in a timely manner, but at the end of the day though, like Amy said, it's for somebody, and that somebody that bought this house, it's for her, it's for her family.
I don't know if you can hear in both of their voices, and it really does touch me the way you guys are just speaking to this. This is the inspired way. Literally, what they just said, I don't have that same feeling because of the you know,
You're seeing it on the reality side.
I'm in a different place,
Yeah.
but they're speaking in a way that is exactly what I'm modeling. What I'm modeling is that it's about the community. It's about the betterment of an area, a group of people. You know, this project that we're going to be doing in the city is in a really rough neighborhood. The eyes are going to be very on us. We're very aware of the struggles that we're going to be up against, but we're going to persevere through that. And maybe what we just went through with this and some of these other things building up to this was our test to take on this 13-unit building and the obstacles, because we've seen it. We've been a part of it. And, you know, Ryan, what's the value of Ryan learning this job that I've kind of created and put him into, and now he's going, wow, next time this comes up, I have that answer. I know how to speak to this. Amy, learning all the things that she's learned over the last several years doing this. I mean, you've been a part of this since inception, and now, you know, being on the note-taking side, you've literally got it ingrained in your brain that, okay, I'm writing down a timeline right now, but I know that this timeline is never
Dude.
going to come through and it's never going to happen.
Every time I write those flipping timelines,
Yes.
I'm like, maybe I'll just add 3 months right now for my sanity.
Right?
For everyone.
Just to make
Yeah.
you feel
Courtney has a hand up.
Yeah, because this feeds into the not never, just not now.
Yeah.
First of all,
So-
because that kept happening, and it probably felt like for you guys, like, oh, this is never gonna happen. We're never gonna get the contractor. It's never gonna be able to sell. No, it will. Just not never, just not right now, which has now led you guys to the place where the right person is going to get it.
Yes.
Also, hold on, and I'm killing it today, guys. So it's like, okay, we finished this house, but we had all these issues, or we had whatever happened. Well, we finished it, and we also did that because they
Right.
both happened. You guys still very much completed the home in the way you wanted it to, and you very much had a lot of things happen along the way.
Right.
It was
And
a
that's okay.
great learning
It didn't
experience.
take
It
us
was.
a little bit.
It was.
This house was all about learning, and for those of you out there, the thing I would try to tell you 100% is try whatever you can do to not have to take a contractor off a job and hire somebody else in the midst of a job. I think that is what I hands down learned that I never, ever, ever want to be a part of again. I never want to start a job with a contractor and finish it with somebody else. It was a flipping
Right.
Well,
disaster.
on top of that, though, you know, most contractors, they won't want to pick up
Right.
your scrap, your work, because it's somebody else's problem.
Yeah.
Just like building a car, that's somebody else's problem. Oh, it's got this transmission issue. Oh yeah, well now it's my problem. I just bought that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this house, same thing. It's
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
it's someone else's issue.
That was
but-
my biggest learning, I think, in
Yeah.
this.
So as much as you guys watch and see these television programs that everything kind of looks beautiful, remember that is cut down to 19 minutes. They take 6 or 7 months and they cut it down to 19 minutes.
We could make a really good, like, out of the last year
could.
and chunk of months,
We could.
we could have a really good 16-minute video.
No doubt.
We probably could.
We
yeah,
can
no
show
doubt.
you a 16-minute video, 19-minute video.
That looked like hearts and rainbows
Right.
and
Like this took 3 months to do.
Right, and,
3
and
months
you would
and
hear
a bunch of
nothing
friends.
about the trials and tribulations. I want to tell you guys that there are trials and tribulations. I don't know if you remember Colin, who was a guest with us maybe a month ago. He went through some really, really difficult times. I was able to kind of consult with him on some of those because he couldn't believe some of these things were happening, and these are things that we've already gone through, or we've kind of run up against. So, yes, it's definitely a learning experience. Yes, it's been a really wonderful ending for this because we've just made somebody happy. We've given somebody the gift of home ownership, and really that is one of the really main reasons that why the development part of Inspired is important is for that part, is to give people that big gift of being a homeowner. And we thought that it would be done sooner. We thought that it would be done differently. Guess what? It wasn't. It's okay, and we're going to be okay. So, Ryan, how do you want to end it with these folks? And what advice would you give to maybe somebody who's wanting to start up, kind of taking on that rehab or taking on
I love Ryan advice.
that responsibility? Yes, let's all let's all listen.
Let's zoom in on Ryan. I'll
There we
listen
go.
to this,
If we
Ryan.
can, boy, when we get more advanced, we'll do a very big close up. Okay, Ryan, you're not on.
I mean, the advice I
No
make.
pressure.
Oh my god. I mean, if you're gonna try to start this, make sure you have your ducks in a row, meaning your contractors, your guys in a row that can do each job.
Right.
I need a painter. I need a floor guy. I need a demo guy. I need a siding guy. Not every contractor can do all those things. There are, but you're gonna find them, and they're gonna be expensive. But the one-stop shop. But at the end of the day, make sure you have what do you need. So if you want to go tackle that house, you can go do it, and make sure you have a plan. If you're gonna go in that house, be like, all right, demo this out and we'll figure it out. No, before you even buy the house, plan it out. Be like, I want to see, just like Courtney mentioned earlier, I want to see myself in this house. Okay, well, what needs to happen? Well, we buy it on the crap end,
Right.
and we can still visualize what's going to happen at the end of the day. I mean, we talk about it all the time and everything about what colors we want to do, what flooring we want to do, all that stuff.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, though, you have to have a plan. You can't just go buy that house rehab and be like, okay, so what do we do?
Sure.
Yeah.
No, I think that's good. I think definitely know your contractor. Interview the people that are gonna work
Look at
there.
reviews, talk to people who have used them.
Yeah.
There's no better way than talking to people to
Yeah.
see how these.
If you have somebody in the family, I
That's
mean, that does help too. Sometimes family isn't always the name of the game either, because maybe they want, they're a little more expensive or something.
We go back to Courtney and don't want to ruin relationships with certain
Right.
people because of that.
Yeah,
certain
exactly.
things
That too,
happening.
exactly. So sometimes, getting family involved, just give, it depends. So.
Yeah. No, absolutely. This has been helpful, and again, I appreciate you taking some time, right, to come on out here and kind of chit chat with us a little bit about the things that are going on in the development side, which with the realtors and real estate that we've been talking about for this past month. I think it really ties in nicely because selling a house in a month, that's not terrible in the current marketplace. I mean I'm not disappointed with that. There were a lot of folks that walked through. There was a lot of showings on it.
Yeah.
It was a different market than what we expected it to be
We
6 months
expected
ago.
it to sell in that 6-month market.
Yeah, I mean, we really did.
yeah.
And I think it was priced to sell in that market.
I
And-
100% do too.
and then when reality hit, you kind
Different
of
times.
drop the price and you go, hey, okay. So it's a financial change that you have to just adapt to. So we're going to kind of get this thing wound up and move on to some. It's time. It's time for us to kind of pick a winner here.
Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
We are
ladies.
give backing first.
First.
You thought we were gonna announce it.
Stand by.
And
We're gonna pick a winner.
Just a teaser.
Just a teaser. So yes, we are still in the process of doing Together We Cope. We have almost one Tupperware bin full already.
Love
of
it.
Donations.
I want to fill 2. I want to fill 5, but 2 will be
Brittany,
great.
what was your number?
3.
3?
You were close with the 2 and the 5.
We're gonna get to
but
3.
Yes.
You know what? If Brittany, if that's your goal, we're gonna get to 3. Ladies and gentlemen, show up. Come on out here to our office in Payless. Please bring your canned goods. Together We Cope. What a great organization.
It is so
isn't
great. It is so great. So they have a Facebook page if you're interested in finding out about them. So click on there. And then bring us some food. Bring us, and we will.
Not food for us to eat.
They can find our flyer on Facebook or our website to find out what should be donated or what they want donated.
Nice. So they've suggested some ideas of things that they will
Yes.
take, the non-perishables and such. So definitely, it's on our website. It is on our Facebook page. It will be. It's even on here if you can read it and zoom into that. But please, 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 folks, there are so many people out there that are in need, and your handful of canned goods that are sitting on your shelf, the impact it'll make is incredible. So, what else are we doing in the next month?
The pass out drive.
The pass out
I mean,
drive.
the blood drive.
Hey.
That is happening next month. So can't wait for that.
Oh, I
Stay
can't wait
tuned.
can't wait to get you live upright and then live down.
I was
That was
so.
such a fast thing that happened.
Yes.
Courtney,
We were so
Brittany got to
okay.
witness it firsthand.
Yeah, the healthy of us left. We were done.
As soon as that needle went out, man. That's what
Yeah,
happened.
but this is the second time. So the first time you were fine. Totally crazy.
We thought it was gonna be Brittany going down.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
then
So
Brittany and I walk out and realize Amy is not behind us.
Amy was not coming out. Amy was still laying down. So
maybe it's Brittany's turn.
that'll be fun. I need to stay hydrated. That's my. I was not hydrated.
Okay.
Anyways, okay. So yes, fun stuff coming up. Our golf outing
Oh my gosh.
is in July. So
Golf outing happening again.
Brittany-
Can't wait.
Brittany and I are on that.
We've got something every month for the next year. For this whole 22, we've got something every month that we are going to be doing for the community. I promoted that piece on a talk show that I did on Monday, and the amount of feedback that people really gave about how they love how we as an organization were giving back each month, and I was very, very inspired by that. It touched me to know that resonates with people other than us. So help us and support us in some of those things, and give us some suggestions if there's some organizations that you would like us to partake in. We're happy to listen.
Chris
So,
brought up something that I think we're gonna try to do something with, right, Britt? That we'll get some information out maybe next week. So there's stuff in the works.
That's great.
Yes.
That is great stuff.
Stay tuned.
I think it's Crohn's and colitis.
Crohn's and colitis. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We're
That's
gonna
near
do
and dear to our family for sure.
Yes.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. So, is it time now? How about it?
Don't forget to get entered in next month's drawing.
Yes.
Starting next Thursday, you have to like, you have to share, you have to comment on our Facebook Live, and you will be entered to win a gift card giveaway.
We're going to do the gift card giveaway for January, though.
Right now.
So everybody that likes or comments or does something, it will go for next month's giveaway, which who knows what that's going to be? Who knows what that will be? Do you know what that will be?
It's a brand new car, Bob Barker.
If I win
Yes,
this
Ryan
one,
is buying
I'll be
everybody a
so
new car.
excited. I was really hoping.
we
I was
are,
like, wait, I'm one of those people.
This is something that we're happy to have people participating in, and we're glad that you guys are continuing to listen and be part of this show. So we're hoping that this kind of builds up our listenership. I think also we should tell them next week we're going to be on at a different time because we have some other commitments earlier in the day. So we will be joining you guys next Thursday. It'll probably be at a different time, so stay tuned for our
New guests,
hosts.
too.
And we'll have a new guest as well. We're starting with Attorney Month, I believe, right? So we're gonna start talking to
Attorney
attorneys next month.
So I will not be talking a lot. I'll be listening a lot over the next month.
Yes, our first guest will be.
There's a lot of names in here.
there, so
Thanks,
this is great.
guys.
This is awesome.
Should I let Ryan pick?
I think you should let Ryan pick. So our first winner
No pressure.
for the giveaway
Your
drawing.
sister's in
It
here.
should be me. I'm in
Go
that
home.
cup.
All
It's
right,
not gonna be you.
pick is
Shuffling around here.
feeling it up, and the winner is.
Oh my god, who is it?
It is
Melissa!
Melissa. Yay!
Wait, family?
Thank you for. Thank you for.
But
tuning
the
in,
rule
Melissa.
is, she is not allowed to get it dropped off to her. We want her to have
Yep.
to bring Marley here one day.
Melissa, you gotta come and collect your gift. It's a Dunkin' Donuts gift card. Thank you
Marley
for
and
listening.
Cadence don't like chocolate sprinkles.
When
do
you
they?
come, make sure you bring some canned goods for the bucket. So otherwise, I can't release this. So we need.
You cannot. You want a hostage
I've
gift card.
added another stipulation to the winner because it's somebody that we know and we care for dearly. We like to say, "You get this if we get this." So. bring
That is
it.
not part of
Or, how about she gets that and then just puts it in the bin?
Or we can just put it in the bin with your name on it,
this. Or
Melissa.
this has gone on for way too long.
Hit that buzzer.
All right. So, Melissa, congratulations, folks. It's just that
Thanks
easy.
for listening. Thank you.
Melissa, grab your family and friends and get them listening as well. You can't win next month. You got to wait at least a month before you win again.
When do these rules? Where are these rules? It's like these rules are getting pulled out of thin air.
I'm right. So, have you ever seen that guy who speaks really fast about the fine print?
Yeah.
That's me. So, if,
Subliminal messages.
exactly,
man.
I'm subliminal man. Ladies and gentlemen, the giveaway drawing for January of 2022 has happened. We have our first winner, Melissa. We'll be sure to post that, and Brittany, maybe we'll get a picture. Maybe what we could do is have her on the backdrop when we do our giveaway drawing, showing all the winners from the past.
Brittany, are you taking notes?
Okay, so I'm just having like a production meeting while we're still sharing with our team.
I'm sure everyone is really excited.
Let's get out of here, folks. It's time to wrap it up. Send you guys on your merry way. The show will be on again tonight. If you missed it, you would know you missed it. However, if you want to tell your folks that did miss it, tune in tonight. They can see Courtney and listen to her greatness. They can see Ryan and listen to his greatness. And
That still counts as a drawing
and it
if
still
you watch it
counts.
tonight.
Right on. So let's give people our quote of the day, Aim. What do you have?
I'm going Maya Angelou.
Oh my God.
Success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it. Do you have a quote?
No. I don't. I just felt important.
That's fine. No, that's okay, Ryan. You don't have to have a quote. We didn't tell you that.
No, you didn't.
Today's quote from me is, wow, gratitude
You listening?
turns what we have into enough. Gratitude turns what we have into enough. We're grateful for you, and we are grateful that you guys tune in to listen to this chaos every week.
Sorry about that last 5 minutes.
know,
Not sure what happened.
It's okay. It's who
But
we are.
thanks
It's
for
what the
sticking
fun
through
is.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in to Title Talk on another Thursday. Hopefully this is bringing some relevance to your lives and your world. We do this every Thursday. We hope that you guys share this and like and do all the things that can get you entered in that drawing. Until next week, my name is Drew.
My name is Amy.
My name's Ryan.
We are the entire group of the Inspired Business Group, we thank you for tuning in and joining us. We look forward to seeing you again next week. We thank Courtney and Ryan for being our guests. And you guys have a great week. Be safe. Stay warm. Take care, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Well, there you have it. That is it for this week's edition of Title Talk. Be sure to head over to our Inspired YouTube page and subscribe and like. And make sure you follow the team on Instagram and Facebook. Join us again next time for more tips and knowledge from the industry pros. Thanks again for listening.